How many of you out there have ever had this problem? You had more month than money left into your bank account. Because if you did, you're not alone. I mean, the Federal Reserve says that roughly 40% of us don't have enough money to cover a $400 emergency. Because life happens. Because sometimes your car breaks down, or you have to go to urgent care, or your toilet clogs and you need to get that plumber right away, or the dog or cat gets sick, or your children or grandchildren need something, or it's someone's wedding, or you have to travel somewhere because someone else got sick. Life doesn't care about our budgets, but yet we're stuck with the problem. The internet will have plenty of advice for you. It'll say, become an influencer, start a new business, buy real estate, buy stocks, and come back in 6 months and cash out. That's not going to work. First of all, it'll take longer than 6 months. And second, that's too long. So how about this? Here's some other advice you might get. Download an app. And all you have to do is fill out surveys and, play games. Makes a little bit of extra dough. That will work if you want to buy lunch today, but it's not going to solve the $400 emergency. Sorry. Sometimes people like us need help sooner than 6 months, like by the end of next month. See, this isn't a hypothetical situation. I was going to be $450 short 1 month because I had an emergency and I still had to pay the bills. I honestly didn't know what I was going to do, but I did do something. Let me show you what I built. This is what I built. I created a custom GPT on ChatGPT called More Month Than Money, because that was my problem. Sounds like it might be yours too, right? So here's how it works. It'll usually ask you about 4 questions. Sometimes it'll ask you another 1 or 2, depending on what you put in. So don't worry if it does. It's actually one of the things I like about it. It doesn't pretend to know what you mean if it doesn't understand it. It asks, and then it can start brainstorming with you. Now, I could sit here and talk more about it, but why don't I just show you it in action? If you look here, you'll see that there are 3 little dialog boxes with starter conversations that you can click on. So if you just want to see how it works, click on one. But what you can do, probably better, is if you use your own information right away. Now, before I actually show you how that's done, I've got a confession to make. My fingers don't always cooperate anymore. Some of my fingers type faster than the others, and one hand types faster than the other too. So when I'm typing, I make a ton of mistakes. Now, the thing is, ChatGPT and all the other AIs couldn't care less. They can figure it out from context. And if they don't, they'll probably ask you what you meant. And if they don't do that, you can just correct it and it'll just do it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to the little microphone button. That's where I can dictate. It'll take what I say and it'll put it in the prompt box. So let's go. Here we go. My mouse didn't work for half a second. I need to make $450 and I need to make it in the next 45 days. Oh, look at that. It took everything I said. Well, that's all right. Let's see what it does. It just ignored that first part. So you don't have to start again. You see, it's these things, they are artificially intelligent. So don't worry about so much stuff. You don't have to make it perfect. So the first thing it did, look, said it took the 2 things that I gave it, which was how much money I needed and when I needed it. And the first question is, what is your current job or primary skill? Don't put my primary skill, which is sleeping until noon. Do your own. Now, I'm not going to give it my primary skill. I'm going to give it an example skill, something that I bet somebody who's watching this has. I'm going to say line cook. I was actually a line cook way back in the day. Oh, I typed. I could have dictated, but I typed. Now it wants to know what my primary hobby is. Well, I'm not going to tell it what mine is. I'm going to make a guess on what somebody out there might have as a hobby. So let's go to the dictation thing and say my primary hobby is gardening. And you just send the prompt up and look what it does. Here's a question that doesn't always pop up. I like it that it did today. It says, how quickly do you need to make it? And, you know, I did say 45 days, but it's just telling us it's confirming. Well, it's actually 47 days, not 45. Thanks for confirming. I did that because I didn't want you to think I rigged it. So one idea with the highest probability of getting you there is offer a garden cleanup and refresh service. See, here's the thing about this. I didn't need a million ideas. I just needed one that would work. So I've asked the GPT to correct for that. So when you use it, it's going to give you just one idea. That's it. Because you need one that has the highest probability of success. Because remember, you need some emergency money, and it's going to try to figure out how to help you get there. So since my hobby is gardening, it said, let's do this. And now what it will do is it will give you a specific problem to solve. It will tell you who might pay for this so you can justify what you're doing. It'll give you the fastest path depending on what you charge and how many jobs you'd need to do in that given amount of time. But this to me is like the most important thing. It says you should validate demand before building anything. And I'm begging you, please don't spend money trying to solve a money problem. That's a bad way to do it. So how do you validate it? Well, it tells you. It gives you the ideas right there. It even gives you the simplest offer in a checklist that makes it easy for you to create a flyer. Don't make it complicated, just one clear service. And the last thing it does is it will tell you the tech setup that you need. Now, I've asked it to try to do this stuff as free as possible. Because again, don't spend money on a money problem to solve it. So here's how it tells you which tools to use. But look what else it did. It said, because I already work as a line cook, you could schedule jobs on your off days. That's nice advice. But let's just say I don't want to do that gardening. I'm in a hot environment and it's 105 degrees today and I don't want to be sweating out in a garden. I'd rather sweat over a stovetop or an oven. So let's ask it. What would you suggest if I wanted to use my cooking skills? What could I do? So here's what it's telling you not to do, and it will tell you what you probably could do, and it gives you the pricing for it so that you can make your money. It gave me some meal ideas on how I could prepare frozen freezer or prepared freezer meals for busy families. And it gives you other ideas. And you can keep going. You can run this a million times with a million different variations. Don't, because you actually need the money. What you don't need to do is play around trying to find a solution that is this much better. Let this just give you a place to start when you're stressed and I don't know what to do next. So you can do it. And if you know what movie that line is from, put that in the comments, please. Now, let's get back to the talking head and wrap this video up. 3. So what do you think? Do you think you can answer those 4 or more questions and follow along with the advice it gives you? Do you think you'll be able to come up with any additional questions if you didn't like what it came up with in the first place? Well, give it a shot. I'm putting the link to it right down below in the comments, or I think at the pinned comment, or I might put it in the description. Maybe I'll do both. You won't need to sign up for anything. I'm not going to collect your email. I'm not going to make you join a school community. I'm not going to do any of those things. It's just free. Well, you will need a ChatGPT account, but the free account will work. You don't need to do a paid account for this. Free is fine. And hopefully, it'll give you some ideas you haven't thought of. And if it did, let me know. I want to know that it works. And if it helps you come up with something where you executed on it and made that cash that you needed, I'd love to hear that too. So until next time, let's make technology a little less confusing and retirement a little less scary. I'll see you in the next one.